So now that we just covered creating the site setup, we're gonna actually get into the template part now. So you wanna hit File, New. I'm gonna create a blank template. I'm gonna hit HTML, Layout, None. And where it says doc type, I'm gonna go to HTML5. We're gonna hit Create. Kind of want to reset my designer view. All right. So now we have our template. To get started, we're gonna go to the code side. Gonna hit body once. We're gonna hit insert, layout objects, div tag. We're gonna create a container. We're gonna create the div called container. We're gonna go to ID, new CSS rule. We wanna define this in a new style sheet that we'll create, and gonna hit OK. It's gonna prompt us to create a style sheet. Remember the templates folder that we created? Gonna go there. Gonna type in. It's gonna be template.css. Sometimes, if you know you're gonna have more than one template, I'd create a folder called template for that template, and then have this template, have this as template, and save it. Okay, and what we're gonna want to do is set the height to auto. The width that we'll be working at right now will be 900. Most websites are usually 900 to 1,000. So we'll be great accordingly. I'm gonna hit apply. I'm gonna hit OK. I'm gonna hit OK. And so if you see you're gonna see the template.css with the asterisk, and we have created that container div. Now we want to tackle the body div. It's HTML5. There's some coverage things that we have to cover. We're gonna want to give want to hit margin. Margin is going to be 0. Padding. Padding will be 0 also. And we're going to do text align, just in case on old browsers. Save. So it's just creating these right here, curly brackets to close all of them in. We're going to go back to here. So if we also, on the container div, we also want to create a margin too. And this margin will also 0. And we're going to press space again, and we're going to hit auto. So this lets the left and right sides center out. And we're going to want to text align too. Since we got the text to be centered on the body div, we'd want to make it go back to left. We just want to save that. We're going to go back here. So if we look at design view, our div container is centered. And let's get to work. Right now we're going to create a div tag, the header div. So we're going to open bracket, header. You can give it an ID if you want to. And I'll give it the ID header, but it's just up to you. Header, then we're going to close it back up with header. And then here, if you want anything, so for instance, I'm gonna put an image in here. Gonna give it a height of 50, a width of 300, and source. We'll put a £sign as a placeholder for the source. HTML5, you actually describe what exactly it is. So if the header is there, and we're going to create the nav bar. So we're going to type in nav, and usually most navs are style on order list. So you can hit UL. So on this site that we're creating, we're going to have a home, about, if you want to save time, you could just copy, contact us, and we're going to put the us right here too. So home, about, contact us. We'll give it a service too. Services. Oh. So we have this, remember the div container? Also, one thing I forgot to mention out in the body tag, you also want to add display block. Add that so when you everything kind of right now is down, it's right beside each other. So at this moment, what we want to do, we want to get this nav bar right here, this nav section, to get beside right here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to end up floating the header div left as well as the nav div left. So we go back to, so now we have to create these tags for them. And float left. We also want to select the height and the width. So the height that we initially said was 50 pixels. We want the width. We said width 300, the same size as the picture. Now remember, since we put margin and padding everything at 0, so everything is starting at 0 now. All the text, everything is at 0 now. So now we have the header. Now we have to add the nav. So we're gonna same float. Left. We want to give it a height, so our height would be 50 pixels too. You would want our width. If our container div is 900 pixels, we would have to give it 600 pixels. Close it off. And if we go to design view, we can kind of see that they're beside each other. The container, kind of see that these two are beside each other. So now we want to create our section div. This is where we house in all our main content. And right now we'll go ahead and save it. So it says you don't have any editable regions. That's okay. We'll create some. We'll just name this as template. we'll hit save.